Amanda and welcome to Books 101. Today I'm discussing the first book in Josephine Angelini's Starcrossed trilogy, Starcrossed. So this book is about a girl called Helen who lives on the island of Nantucket. For her whole 16 years of life, she has had to hide how different she is. Hiding how different she is becomes harder because she starts having these weird nightmares. When she actually wakes up from these nightmares, it's like she's been in them because she wakes up and her bed's full of dust and dirt. If that isn't strange enough, Helen becomes haunted by hallucinations of these three women weeping tears of blood. One day, Helen crosses paths with this new kid at school called Lucas, whose whole family has just moved into like the biggest house on the island. And when she crosses paths with Lucas, she feels the urge to kill him. Her true heritage is then revealed. Through, she has no way of knowing that they are destined to play the lead role on a tragedy the fates insist on playing on throughout history. Lucas and Helen cannot be together unless they break free of this tragedy. This tragic destiny that the fates have in store for them. If you are interested in young adult books with a bit of forbidden love, a touch of fantasy and Greek mythology, then I would recommend this book. Before you read it, I would suggest to brush up on your Greek mythology because when you delve into this world, it can get very confusing. I read this book for the first time. I could not understand half the things that were going on. And it wasn't until the second time where I gathered a better understanding of it once I brushed up on a bit of my Greek mythology. For a demigod book, this book is great. The characters are really good and the storyline is very fast paced. So that's the end of the non-spoiler section. Continue watching to be spoiled. If you don't want to be spoiled, click out. So the Dallas family and Helen are descendants of the Greek gods, and Lucas and Helen cannot be together because the houses have to stay separate. This book has so many twists and turns. Boy, okay. So the book begins with Helen, and I love Helen in this book and how her character really develops. Because at the beginning she's very shy, fades away, possibly so her differences from other people don't show. But through the story she begins to grow into her own person and starts to accept who she really is. Dallas family move into the big house on the island and Newt travels very fast through Nantucket. And Helen begins to get very annoyed because all they ever talk about on this island is the new Dallas family. These weird things start happening to Helen. She begins to have these weird nightmares where she wakes up and there's all like dust and dirt in her bed, which would make anyone think, what the? Funny thing is, Helen doesn't seem too freaked about it. Like, she thinks, okay, you know, what's going on? I'm kind of scared, but she's not super freaked. If that happened to me, I'd be like,
I'm getting out of this house. This is something wrong with the house.
She meets Lucas, weather's still, and she sees a sobbing woman, and it's so funny because when they see each other, it's just like freeze, this big gust of wind, and then they just like get this urge to just kill each other like gladiators. I'm just thinking of like an old cowboy shoot-off where they're just like stare at each other like this, the music is going and then the big ball of hay, you know, but instead here it's like papers blowing in the wind, and they go and they aim to kill each other and it's like blood for blood and they get pulled apart. That'd be horrible. Like, if you don't really know the person to have a rage to kill them. The funny thing is, as the novels continue, the fates just keep wanting Lucas and Helen to just bump into each other, and they bump into each other in the supermarket. She goes to his house one night. All the while they have this urge to kill each other. Till Helen is running at full speed and Lucas is chasing her, and then she doesn't realize that she starts flying. She lands on the beach, and then she lands on poor Lucas, who ends up having a Helen-shaped dent in him. This happens, the burden of them two wanting to kill each other is lifted. So they're all skinons. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that word. It's an annoying word to read. And each generation gets stronger and has more powers. The houses are like against each other, and the only house that remains is Lucas's house. The reason why Helen and Lucas try to kill each other because the Fury compel members of houses to kill each other to pay a debt owed to their ancestors. And it's sad, in these, you know, houses and everything, faces are passed down generation through generation, so someone can have the same face. That'd just be horrible because it's almost like you don't have your own identity. Greek mythology in this book was very cleverly woven into the storyline. Josephine Angelini did a great job in the way that Lucas and Helen have feelings towards one another. Hector starts training Helen, and I love Hector. He's like the big friendly giant, and Lucas gets jealous when Hector's training her because it's like she's training with another guy. Training because Tarantulas, I think his name, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and the 100 cousins think that if only one house exists, they can raise Atlantis. Halfway through the book, we meet Creon, who plans to kill her. Some of the other characters, Claire, Helen's best friend. I love her as a character. To all this seriousness, she kind of brings the light relief and puts you back in the kind of human world. I love Lucas as a character. I love the relationship between Helen and her dad. I think it's so cute. And I love Kate, how she's, you know, so nice to Helen. And Helen's never really known her mum. She never left any records behind or anything. And then later on, Daphne, with Helen's mum, comes back, which tries to kidnap Helen and take her far away from all this. And to get away with this, she puts a fake face on Helen. I love when Lucas, you know, walks into the hotel that they're staying at. And he can see right through that fake face. And you find out that Helen's mum put the cramp curse on her so that she's showing signs of her powers towards any human, that she will start to get these cramps. Just when you think Helen and Lucas are free from the curse, because there are 2 other houses, a big bombshell gets dropped that Helen and Lucas are first cousins. Helen's like, we can't do this, we're first cousins. And of course that breaks up the 2 of them. Why does this always happen in books? At the very end of this book, there's a lot of killing. Creon kills Pandora, Hector kills Creon, but he killed his own cousin. Of course the Furies attack. So that just causes Lucas to have rage and attack Hector. I love when Helen just, you know, goes between them and just uses her lightning to stop them. And Daphne leaves with Hector. The ending actually went by really fast. I think it should have been slowed down just a bit. Overall, this was an interesting book. I'm not really one for Greek mythologies. After reading Antigone in Year 10, I just don't really like them. But like I said before, they were cleverly woven into this book. For me, I'd probably rate this book 8 out of 10. Wasn't my favourite of the trilogy. The thing that annoyed me most about this book was I had to read it again to gain a better understanding of it, because it really confused me a lot. And I'll just be honest and say that it did confuse me. Hope you enjoyed my mini Starcrossed book talk. And Lucas popped in to say hi. She's always hanging around whenever I do my book talks, aren't you? I'm Miranda and this is Sassy. Thanks for watching. See ya.